Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Sandra and I are glad to have you with us. We're here with our guest host and friend, John McClain.
Yeah.
All righty, then. There we go. Yesterday, I wanted to talk about that. We were at the Rotary Club, and the chief of police made a statement that I really wanted to say to everyone today. And there's another positive thing about Tucson. He said that Tucson is the 33rd largest city in the United States of America. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was one of the most amazing things I had heard in a long time. What do you think about that, Sandra?
I was surprised to hear that, actually. And, you know, he also shared a little bit about the challenges that the Tucson Police Department have had since the George Floyd incident had occurred and how they are addressing those things. And I'll tell you what, we've got some really great leadership there, and it was really impressive.
Yeah, I thought the things he said really resonated with me, and I thought it resonated with everybody there who was listening to him talk. He was a great speaker. I just wanted to bring him some credit out there because I thought it was a really good day yesterday.
It was great.
Cool. Yeah, I had a lieutenant from the Tucson Police Department on the Common Good radio show just last week, and they're talking about the drug prevention work that they were doing. So yeah, I mean, I'm there right behind you. There's nothing but good stuff to be said about the Tucson Police Department lately. There's so many amazing changes that have been made over the years. There's just so much training that has been going through the Tucson Police Department, and culturally, they're a new unit. Definitely a unit that I recommended to the population on our show. Give them a chance. Like they really do, deserve the opportunity to start building some relationships. Particularly, running a nonprofit. I need to work with the police department more. Like, for example, the organization we had on with them, PEP, they do so many different collaborations and coalitions with the Tucson Police Department. That's something Veteran Rescue Mission and Home Community Services we should be doing as well. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys pointed that out.
Yeah. Well, the other thing we wanted to do was just get a quick update from you. We've been talking to you a little bit about what life is like out there as a potential home buyer coming into the market. And you checked in with John last week, right? So we want the update.
It's almost like you made it happen.
Really?
In a way. It's I don't want to think that it was kind of like you visioned it to happen for me, but certainly me, I think, I don't know how long ago, maybe a few months ago, I mentioned to you guys that we were looking maybe into October to buying a house, and then on the show we discussed it again, and then you said, well, why wait till October? There's nothing that's going to radically change between now and October, like everybody's hoping is going to happen. Check it out, see what's going on now, and which is, this show is such a blessing, and the relationship with you guys is such a blessing in so many ways. Not only because we talk about these great real estate agents that people can get connected with every single week on the show, we talk about all these other different amazing agencies that help us on the show, and you guys connected me just like you do the listeners with Inspired Mortgage,
Inspired Life Mortgage,
Inspired Life Mortgage, and John Spur. And I got with John Spur, and John was like, hey, John, or my wife actually gave him all the information. We got everything through, and he's like, okay, this is how much you can get. But if you applied for a VA loan as well, you don't have to put a down payment. And I was like, well, I don't think I can get it. Well, he's like, well, let's just see. And I was like, okay, let's see. And he saw, and I do get the VA loan.
Yay.
And so that's the big blessing. So thank you guys for kind of getting us there, and real soon you're going to help us find our next house.
We're so excited. This one is going to be special.
Yes,
for us.
it is.
It's going to be really special. And we keep talking every week about how great that product is, the VA loan. And I think when he was on last, he said he had someone who came in and they weren't going to use their VA loan because someone had advised them not to. And when they sat down and looked at the numbers, it was the product for them.
Yeah.
And such a great benefit for people who've served our country. So
it's such a blessing. It really is. Because funny enough, my wife and I, we've saved up the money we need. We could have done it one of the two ways, but it was either pay that $25,000-$30,000 down or zero down.
Let me think that one through.
Decisions.
Yeah, I tried talking my parents into not doing a down payment when they bought, because they had a VA loan, and my mom couldn't do it. She just couldn't do it because she was raised in the 20% down world, and I told her, save that nest egg. You don't know when you could use that money, and so for her it wasn't comfortable, but for most people, I think that nothing down really sounds great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. That was fun.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing with us. We appreciate that, John.
It's my honor.
I'd like to sit here and recognize somebody who's had an impact on our city. He's the CEO of Pissick Consulting Group. His name is Mitch Pissick. How you doing, Mitch?
Doing great. Thrilled to be here.
Yeah, one thing we want to talk about is that Mitch had made a comment, and I wanted to hear everybody to hear it. He said, don't let the dream of a perfect house destroy your opportunity to actually live in a dream house. And can you expand on that?
Sure, absolutely. I'm happy to do it. So life is beautiful, but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. And when it comes to real estate, and I've moved 8 different times professionally, right? So every time there was a new company I was running or a promotion, I'd have to move. So I've bought 8 houses and I've sold 7. If it was 8 and 8, I'd be homeless. So, right? And I can tell you that, there's no such thing as perfection out there. So it's really important that you come up with your must-haves, and I recommend there not be too many of those.
Right.
And then you have the nice-to-haves, but you focus on the must-haves. And as soon as you find that house that has the must-haves, jump on it, because time in real estate is rarely your friend. Okay. And then you also need a team with you. Okay. So if you don't have the right team, or if you're too overly specific and demanding on exactly what you want on a house, you're never going to get that dream house. You're never get any house. So that's what I mean by, good enough usually is great when it comes to real estate. In fact, I'll give you a quick thing. I always had an aspiration. I always wanted to find an orange house.
Oh,
because
wow.
if there was an orange house, it would be $50,000 less than it should be.
Right?
And then I spend $2,000 to paint it, and I'm golden. So if any orange houses out there, let me know.
Wow, that's true. If you look at it, if you have a house that was built in, say, the 80s, and it needs some updating because it's got that 80s vibe, and you want it to look like a home from today, or you've got a house that pretty much needs to be completely redone because it was built, in the 40s and nothing's been touched. It doesn't cost you anymore to do that remodel, whether it's a recent one or one that's like, oh my goodness, I could never live with, what you got going on there. The only difference being, of course, the older homes may have some lead-based paint type issues that could cost you more, but the remodel itself, not so much. So let's come back to that after the break, and we'll talk a little bit more. We're glad to have Mitch with us here today, and appreciate the insights that he brings. He actually does a lot of consulting and helps people kind of overcome some of those objections, I think, in life, and look at the bigger picture instead of sometimes we have that focus that's a little bit too narrow.
Help them meet and exceed their aspirations.
That's awesome. What a great job to have. Help people meet and exceed their aspirations. All right, well, stay with us. We'll be right back after the break with Mitch and talk a little bit more about real estate.
Welcome back to the show. We have Mitch Pissick, CEO of the Pissick Consulting Group. A couple things I want you to know about Mitch is that he's an award-winning business consultant, executive coach, and leadership training who has worked with over 1,000 executives in hundreds of companies and dozens of industries.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, from sole entrepreneurs to Fortune 100 global services. So I think he has a wealth of knowledge, and I want to make sure you understood what his background is when we started giving you some guys knowledge to write this stuff down. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, we would look at it. It's like, how did we as a real estate show end up having someone with this much experience? And he could be talking to, what's the largest audience you've ever spoken to?
Well, I'm probably about 3,000 people.
Yeah. So how do we have Mitch in the studio with us
God bless
talking
the
about?
Arizona Sandstorm.
Actually, though, I'm assuming you got about 30,000 listeners, so this might be the record.
This maybe. There you
it is.
go. There you go.
And they're all smart and beautiful, so there you go.
That's the only type of listeners we allow. So yes, you've nailed it.
So we were talking a little bit about not focusing on having perfection.
Mm-hmm.
I think you mentioned to me the same thing with a marriage, right?
Well, yeah, it's like kids, right? If you wait until you have all the money and all the time, you'll never have them,
right?
And the other thing about a house is, and the must-haves are really the things that just aren't going to change. Your lawn is the size, your property, the house is kind of the house. So those are the things that the school district. Those are things that count. But the other things you can change. In fact, the other thing that's real big is gut. Everyone has a gut feel about things. You know what gut feel is? That's experience. Okay. If your gut's telling you this seems right or it seems wrong, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing I mentioned has to do with your team. All right. So I've dealt with all kinds of brokers. Okay, real estate brokers, and I even have some as clients. But I'll tell you the two things to me that make all the difference, okay? It's knowledge and it's negotiation. All right? Those are the two key things I have found are the ones. Now, you take you guys, right? You two combined have about 13 years of real estate experience. I've seen you guys in action. It seems like I would have guessed it was about 30 years of experience, right?
Yeah.
We're not that old. We're not that old.
Well, you started in middle school, right?
Right.
Well, I should be clear. Not 30 years each combined.
Okay,
I
okay.
should clarify that. Okay? No, but it's true. And when I talk about knowledge, right? I mean, in this environment, you want to be with people that kind of know houses even before they come on the market. You guys have a your relationships and network, right? I mean, you know who to recommend for appraisals and title and borrowing money and so on. The VA was a great example. The other thing I want to talk about, though, that most people I really think don't appreciate is negotiations, right? I mean, you guys are great at that. I've seen you make people cry. Good for you.
Yeah, I love watching them make people cry. That's my favorite.
You make everyone cry. Sometimes tears of joy, sometimes of sorrow, but you make them cry, and I respect that, right? But
people need to feel.
You need to feel, right?
Yeah, they
That's
gotta
an emotional
feel.
thing. But that's the thing, because like a lot of people, they'll pick a real estate agent, a real estate broker, because they're nice people. Well, you know what? Most agents, to me, are very nice people.
Yeah.
And they're all passionate about what they do. They all care, right?
Right.
But you know what? When it comes down to it, you want someone that's a great negotiator. Okay, I mean, I dealt with somebody in Texas, nice guy, but I found out I was on the buy side. He was like afraid of the other real estate agents because you're always working with the same people. I'm like, wait. You're on my side,
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of took it over, right? But you really do want to. And I do recommend when you're interviewing brokers, have them give you examples of where they've really been, whether it's on the buy or sell side,
Right.
because that makes a huge positive impact on what you're doing.
Yeah, you mentioned properties that aren't even on the market yet. And I will tell you, I had a client that was had a very limited budget. It was cash, but very limited. And you guys all know what this last year has been like.
Yeah.
And so we were looking at, $120,000. And there was a really unique property that came up in a small community, vintage, super cool. And it came up coming soon. And I called and asked if we could get in to see the house. And the agent said, no, we're not allowing showings. We're still painting. We're doing this, we're doing that still. And it's just not ready. So I talked to my client. I said, do you trust me? And what I want you to do is write them an offer. I want you to write them an offer over asking price. And let's see if we can start a conversation with them. And he trusted me and wrote the offer, probably 10% over asking price. They said they answered the call, right? They said, "Thank you. Would you like to see the house?" And he was able to move in, and because he was cash, he was able to move in a matter of weeks, probably between two and 3 weeks. And he would not have had that opportunity if, one, he didn't trust me, And 2, we didn't go outside of the box and look for something where we didn't have 20 other people competing with us. And so you can't, I told him you have to write it to buy it. You can't mess around, but it was that relationship of trust and being willing to put it on the table,
So you think about all the different really impressive aspects of that story, which I know was not a unique story, right? The fact that they trusted you meant you gave them a reason. You presented yourself in a way when you first started your relationship that earned their trust, right? And then you leveraged that, right? You knew how to play the game. You knew how to negotiate. You knew what had to happen,
right?
Okay, and then you executed on it, right? And unless you're working with someone that's great at what they do, any one of those things that didn't work, the whole thing falls apart.
Right.
Right. And so that's what you want out of a broker, because, everyone thinks they're great at a lot of things. And the truth is, no, they're not. Okay. How many times does somebody buy or sell a house? Maybe once every 3 to 8 years, right? I think 7
Most
used
people.
to be the average, right?
Yeah.
So you're not an expert at it.
Right.
You guys are selling house. You guys are buying. You guys have, several transactions a month, sometimes several a week. That's what you guys do. That's your lifeblood. That's who you really want to work with.
We appreciate that.
I could just listen to you talk all day. It's fun, man.
I'll tell you, do you have time for a kind of a funny story?
Yeah, we got 1.5 minutes.
Okay, make it quick. This is a good story about negotiations. Right? Okay, so I'm in New York, right? I'm buying a house. I want to buy this house in New York. Trust me, everything's complicated. Anyway, so the house. All right, I made a deal. I made an offer. They accepted the offer, right? So now I'm going through the inspection, and there's a neighbor there, right? Marty. And Marty says, "Oh, you guys are coming. You want you to come over and have a drink?" So, look, I'd love to. I just have to get through the inspection. All right, so I'm there, and all of a sudden there's somebody else going through the house. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, in New York, until the cash moves, it's not done. So they were looking at the house. And I said, well, geez, I don't want them to, what if they change everything? So what I did is I go to Marty, because it turns out the house I was buying, it was a friend of his. They were doctors, and this other guy left. They were a partnership. So I ended up saying, hey, Marty, listen, I got an issue. I really want to buy the house. My kids saying, your age, but this other person is looking at it, and they have this giant boat they're going to put in their driveway. And if there's any way you could talk to your friend and let me buy the house. And they did it. I got it. And now, did he really have a boat? I don't know. He might have. I don't know.
We're not advocating this, just for the record.
Well, Marty wouldn't want a boat in the neighbor's driveway. I mean, conceptually, that.
Right.
We like to appreciate Mitch, the CEO of Pissick Consulting Group. Mitch, how can someone get a hold of you if they're interested in your services?
Oh, great. Okay, so my number here, it's in Tucson, although it's a New York number. It's 631-943-5275. It's probably the easiest way. 631-943-5275. Love to talk to you and see if I could help you out.
Man, it was great to have you on the show. We had a really good time with you. We hope to be able to come back again.
I love working with pros. You guys are the best.
Oh, thank you so
thanks,
much.
Mitch.
We shall return to the show. You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show with Sandra and Raymond. Talk to you soon. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in. Next on our show is the owner of Tucson Appliance, the awesome Chris Edwards. How you doing, Mr. Edwards?
Yeah.
Good morning, Tucson. I'm sure they turned the volume down on me now.
I'll tell you what, we've never had a guest on the show before. When I looked out, because there's a little waiting room outside of the studio here, and all of a sudden I see like all these people right outside the window, and I went, oh, Chris is here.
That was cute. It was nice seeing everybody.
Yeah.
And saying hi to them and talking to them. And we were actually trying to fix the little refrigerator you have out there.
Oh, nice. Oh, man.
Appliances is in your blood.
100%. Hey, that's the first thing I do is I go and I look to see what appliances most people do when I go to their houses or whatever. We're outside, and then, when you see these bright yellow refrigerators, you're like, oh my God, that refrigerator's older than me. You need a new one.
Have you thought about starting a vintage section, for all these people that love the mid-century moderns? And I mean, I've seen some really cool old stuff. Now, 95% of it is not cool, but 5% of it is just amazing. People that never cooked the day in their life, and it's like brand new.
They're looking at me. I have my mouth open like,
He does.
no, I am not going to do that. I did post something on my Facebook page of somebody tagged me on an old refrigerator, and I used to deliver those old refrigerators.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God! When you see it, you'll see the shelves pull out sideways and everything.
Oh, wow.
But no, that would be too much. And the best thing about those old refrigerators, they really didn't break.
Uh-huh.
Now they make them to break with computer chips and all this other stuff. The ice makers never work, but from time to time, gives us something to fix.
Well, other than fixing refrigerators, which I know you guys do, and by the way, we bought all our new appliances from you.
And
so
they're still working.
They're still working.
Perfect. You don't need to call us for anything.
No, they're doing great. We asked you to come on today and talk a little bit about what's trending in the appliance world. So we have two different audiences that we'd like to speak to, and one is that foodie that wants top of the line, really high-end appliances. I will tell you, we settled when we bought our refrigerator. We did not get the Kraft ice maker, and that was hard to do, but we looked at the price and it was just a little outside of our budget, but I know there's some really great stuff out there. So tell us what's trending. And then we'd also kind of want to hit on, we've got clients who are selling a home and maybe their kitchen looks a little tired because they've got those older.
One of the best selling points is the kitchen and the bathroom, of course.
Yes.
And I tell you what, the only reason why those Kraft ice maker refrigerators were selling is because of the Kraft ice. And the people that bought them just paid the price just to have the Kraft ice. That was a big ball.
Yeah.
I mean, we had those, and it's like, oh my God, really? It takes forever. You only get one cube, but of course they love that. That's not trending right now.
Okay. Well, I can tell you can buy a little ice maker that just makes the one ice cube. It's probably
so
like
you got one of those.
$500. Nope. We have the old-fashioned golf ball.
Okay.
You put it into a silicone mold and you get your golf ball ice cube.
Those are the best, actually, because right now an ice maker shouldn't be in a refrigerator or a freezer because, of course, they're always going to break because you're freezing water.
Right.
Yeah.
And from time to time they break and people are always mad. I'm like, but your refrigerator and your freezer is working. You should be okay. Get those plastic things that crack.
Right?
Just being honest.
The old school way of doing it. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go with your original question. What's trending? Induction is trending. Induction is very snazzy right now. You get the pans and it cooks faster than gas, more even than gas. It cools down faster than gas. It's magnets is what it is. Back in the day, these things, when they first came out with it, they were huge and heavy, and right now they're light and aesthetic looking, and they're the things that are really trending.
Wow.
For the higher end, you've got some, the $10,000 ranges and refrigerators. We do carry those, the Thermadors. Most people that purchase those are for the kitchen, but they're not as big as the other ones. So I don't know if we call them trending or not. They're more of a aesthetic looking for the house.
Okay.
They don't really use those ranges.
They look pretty, but they
look
don't
really
get any
pretty.
use.
Exactly, 100%, unless you're hiring a chef or something from time to time. But some people do use them, actually. Some people buy them and use them. Right now, the other higher end, the LG higher end, and the Cafe is really trending. And that's what takes the longest to get right now. You're looking 3-4 months, 6 months, 8 months, maybe. As in stock, we have plenty of stock. We have plenty of refrigerators, plenty of ranges, when you want to special order something, it may take longer. And they have so many different SKUs and model numbers and colors, and oh my God, it's a headache sometimes because they change them so often. It's crazy. But we have plenty of stock. It's amazing when people come in, they see that I have an acre full of appliances.
Yes,
well, how big is an acre? That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bigger than our almost acre lot. So yeah, I can tell you how big an acre is. If you're trying to clean that yard, it's a lot of space.
Yeah,
but they keep going with different colors like black stainless and blue stainless and all this other stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh. But right now, stainless is definitely trending, and also in Cafe, which is GE, white is trending a lot.
Okay, so there's a Cafe, just a line of GE then,
Correct.
or is there anything special about what they're putting in those appliances?
No, it's nothing special. They're higher end. They just have the special pull-out tray. They have the extra butter thing, and they have the extra this. All these little knickknacks that sometimes you really don't need, but they look really nice and they're cool. They have the colors are really nice. It's got a matte white, and then sometimes you can have a copper handle or a different color handle. You could like mix match and make it. That's why it takes so long. There's so many on order. If you think about, the United States and how many people when the pandemic came, and then how much longer it took them to get back on track of the orders that they had.
Yes. I think that was a big deal.
The other stuff is just rubber stamp. Some of the apartments, we do 80% of all the apartments in the rental flips. Those are stamped appliances. Those things are just coming out like crazy, and they're finally catching up with those.
Well, that's good news for people that just need to plug and play, right? They just need something to get them by.
100%. And, we've got everything for everyone. That's why a lot of people come to me. I've got reconditioned, scratch and dent, new, and high-end. And not everybody else has that, so we're kind of like a quasi kind of deal.
That's great. I know.
I just love your smile. When you sit there smiling, you're happy. You love this industry, and I love hearing
making people happy. I love.
Wow.
I'm just. You know what? Everybody asks how I'm doing. I'm wonderful as usual. Why be any other way?
That's awesome. My answer used to be, I'm fantastic, but I hope it gets better.
Yeah. Everybody, you're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show on 1030 AM The Voice. We are here with Chris Edwards, the owner of Tucson Appliance. We'll be back in a few minutes, but we're so happy to have Chris here. He's such a great guy, and we're going to talk a little bit about what he's doing for the community and all the charity work he does out there. Chris is all around Tucson because he's an all around Tucson guy. We can't wait to get back. You ready, Chris? We'll be right back.
Oh, God, yeah. Ready to go.
Okay.
I hate coming in on the break because I just want to listen to the music.
I love it. I'm dancing, just having a good time.
Oh,
It's a groove show.
I love that.
Hey, we are back. This is Sandra Johnson. I'm here with Raymond Smith, my husband, John McLean, and we have Chris Edwards from Tucson Appliance here with us today. And we've been
It's
talking.
almost like we have a star in studio with
know.
us, isn't
it is.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
interesting.
I like that. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are Tucson's, I gotta say, like, favorite personality.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very nice. I mean, I don't want you to get my ego up that high. People already said I have a big head.
I didn't even realize until we were here with him today, like, oh yeah, this guy is a celebrity.
Yes.
Like I see you on the TV all the time. I see you, in the billboards, this, that, and the other thing. But being here with you, it's just like, dude, you've made a dent in Tucson. Like
I like that, a dent, because I mean there's a lot of very big people out there. My pal Jim Click, he does a really good job.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like one of my mentors, and Buck O'Reilly. I don't know if you know him, but O'Reilly Chevrolet. There's a lot of great men out there.
Yeah, okay.
And you're on the Mount Rushmore of them. So.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
working my way up there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you for that.
talk a little bit about that, because you were mentioning earlier when we were on break that you started out, you were delivering appliances. I don't see you delivering them today, probably.
So the best thing about that is I went to the University of Tucson Appliance also. My dad taught me everything I know. I went to Pima for 2 years, and I went to business management. And, we started in the 90s as a service company, but thank goodness when I went to college, I told my dad we need to be on TV. And so, asking me a little bit about my past is when I became partners, when I started my first commercial in 1997.
Wow.
So I did The Incredible Hulk. I don't know if most people remember that one because I was kind of big and it was freaky, and I never took acting classes. You could tell that. But when I went to business school, I found out that, you have to remember the commercial. So it's corny enough to remember, and know what you do. And that's it. And so I did those two. And I also got to change the name of the company. And so I said, something's got to stick out so people, when you're driving down the street, you can see it. Purple and gold. Those are my favorite colors. But they're also my high school colors.
Oh, cool.
So, Tucson, Sabino High School in Tucson, that's the way I roll. The best part right now the most interesting about my job right now is my son. He's going to the University of Tucson Appliance, and I'm so proud of him.
That's awesome.
He's 3 years in. He's got a long ways to go.
Yeah.
He went to the U of A for one semester, but I don't think he went to a class. He said, "Dad, isn't this what you want me to do?" I said, "That's how I got here. Darth, get over here.
That's awesome.
You get paid to go to college."
That's what it's all about.
so true.
That's what it's all about.
Just kind of skip the middle part and go right to the good stuff, right?
There you go.
Yeah, we're here with Chris Edwards from Tucson Appliance. Chris, how big has your company gotten since you started since you started around '97?
It's got to be 20-fold of what it was back then.
Wow.
Just in the past 5 years in the pandemic, it helped. But my dad's been passed away a little over 10 years now, and since then it went about fourfold,
Right.
and then another fourfold during the pandemic.
Wow.
Because we're essential, and because we have everything for everybody. I mean, everybody else just has new or high end or something else.
Gotcha.
Well, I had recondition, I had scratch and dent, I had new. So I had got a little bit of everything all at the same time, different times, and I was able to supply to people and donate to people, to charities, to churches, to anything. You know, most people, if they reach out to me, I want to be there to help. I just want to make sure it's viable, but
Right.
definitely I'm in. That's how I am. I just love people, and I love that I'm able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tell you, we saw you at a Roadrunner hockey game, and you were just to the left of us. So we were in the front row, next section over, and people were coming up and
was
just,
awesome.
yeah, they were so happy to see you. And it was for us, so we're just kind of on the outside looking in, you know, and
That
it was
was
just
nice.
very cool to see.
And I want people to come up to me and say hi to me. And, you know, if they want to take pictures, I'm just a regular guy. I'm a regular person. Some people don't like that. But, you know, to me, I like it. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm just, I'm nice that I'm happy that they've seen my commercials and that they know that I have a good business and stuff like that.
I think it's that you come across very genuine too, and I think people really like that. And if you're not following Chris Edwards on Facebook, there are 4,999 other people in this town that are following him. And I'll tell you what, the things that you do for this community.
Oh, that's so
And
sweet.
I saw you at Ronald McDonald House.
We got to be chef for the day. That was a lot of fun, definitely.
That's very cool, and what a great way to give back.
And we actually were raising money. That was with my pals from the Winers and Diners. We were raising money for Davis-Monthan Air Force Base at the same time.
Oh,
Had
great.
a dinner right
Aw.
after that. We're the ones that did the chef for the day. And, you know, the $49.99, I had to delete somebody today because their account was deactivated. It's just hard to go through all those friend requests. But now you can follow people. You don't have to have just the 5,000.
Right.
They only let you have
Mm.
5,000 on there, but I found out that you could just tell people, well, then just follow me because everything on my Facebook is public. So people that are not friends of mine can see the stuff if they really want it.
That's awesome.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, I was
Thanks
gonna
for the
say,
shout out on it.
Chris
Appreciate
I've
that.
seen Chris. He's given away $1,000 at least twice that I've seen. I don't know if you've given away more than that, but
Oh,
there
100%
are-
we've given away.
okay. Well, that's just in the last month, right?
Yeah,
just in the
exactly.
last month.
That was
And
this is
so-
a new thing. We're giving away $1,000 cash every other week to somebody because of what's going on, and it's a random thing. It's mostly just on Facebook and Instagram. All you have to do is comment on it, and then you're entered into the contest. And you know, I've had a lot of response out of it. But once the people get it, they really are excited and happy to receive. $1,000 is a lot of money right now, especially with
is.
gas prices.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's just really cool to see the interactions between you and the community.
Yeah.
Are there any specific charities that you're part of that you would like to kind of, share with our audience today?
You know what? There's all the charities in Tucson. Just just go to Charities Tucson or something like that. They're all. I mean, I'm a Tucson conquistador. Of course, I appreciate that. I'm a Rotarian. I'm a member of a lot of other charity events where we help out the community. We got a car show coming up with the Rotary Club. I'll probably get fined if I don't say something.
I was going to say, well, we just joined
Rotary
Rotary
members, yeah.
ourselves, so Raymond and I.
The Rotary of Tucson?
Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
The big one. Okay,
Yeah,
that's great.
we are.
Yes.
We're selling those tickets too, so don't buy them from Chris.
I don't sell them. I usually buy them and then I give them away to my customers.
Wow.
And if I
Oh,
run
that's
out, then I
nice.
buy some more.
Gosh.
Actually, we're one of the grand prize winners. I think you won a kitchen on there for $2,000 or $2,500. I can't remember what the giveaway was for that. But I'm just all about Tucson community, kids, families, people in need, everything. I also, just not a charity, but that mural we were talking about. We're going to do an unveiling on August 7th between 1 and 4. And this lady, Erica, I just met her at one of these little business meeting art events they had me speak at.
Right.
To how I do business and why I'm successful and why I make people know that top of mind is more important than advertising your business.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun. I met her and I asked her to do a mural for us, and she's doing it, and we're going to unveil it next weekend, August 7th. From 1 to 4, we'll have ice cream. I'm buying all the ice cream, so come on, help yourself there.
Party.
There might be food trucks there, I don't know, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're here with Chris Edwards. He's the owner of Tucson Appliance. Chris, I got to ask you, where did this come from? I mean, you seem to be so genuine all this way. Were you this way when you were younger? This is just the way you just came out to be? Because you're just an amazing person. You're genuine. People want to be around you. Where did this come from?
It's just me. It's who I want to be. It's how I want to be. How I want other people to see. How I want them to treat me. I want to treat them the same way.
Yes.
And it's just, you never know. I mean, what is that? YOLO? You only live once or something like that? Yeah. Well, enjoy life, because I tell you what, there's so many people that I've known that are not around anymore, and not because of their reason. They're too young. But if you don't enjoy life now, you never know what's going to happen the next day. That's just how I roll. That's why I'm wonderful as usual.
Yeah. Well, I want to take it back to appliances just quickly. We have a couple minutes left here. If we've got someone who's looking at doing an upgrade to improve their house, maybe it's sat on the market, not selling, and we know that that's one of the objections people have. Do you have like a package
100%.
that they can
buy? We have
buy?
several packages to come by. I mean, the package starts anywhere from $1,500 to it could go to $4,000. That's refrigerator, range, dishwasher, microwave. Sometimes they don't have to provide the refrigerators in these because other people will buy the refrigerator themselves. So it could be less than that. But I would say anywhere from $1,500 and up, or where our packages start. It just depends on what color and how high end you want. But the scratch and dent stuff that we have is unbelievable. You could save thousands of dollars on one kitchen. Thousands of dollars. That's a long thing, because we get a discount, and I'm a fair guy. I'm not one of those guys that's going to rate that price up higher. You're right, I'm genuine. I like being genuine. That's why.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if I should say this on air or not, but that
Go ahead,
rarely stops me.
He doesn't care.
It doesn't stop me either.
We when we were shopping, we were looking at a big box option, and we just came into the store and said, hey, we'd rather buy from you guys than a big company. We like that you're local, and what can you do? And you guys, like you said, very fair with us, and we got the refrigerator that you knock on it, and the the little
nice
beverage door.
I do kind of like that. I like that feature on that, to be honest with you.
So do I.
Because you don't have to open it up and you don't lose the cool air, and you can see what's in there first and say, okay, I want this, or that's not in there. But then is that the one that has the camera in there? You take a picture?
No camera. We're not that advanced.
The funniest thing, you didn't ask me, but I'm going to tell you anyway. There was the Whirlpool came out with a range that had a refrigerator inside of it, so that you could put your food in there and it would refrigerate it all day until you came home, and it would have a timer and start the range.
Would you post that on Facebook so that
if I could find it, because thank goodness we sold them all, because I tell you what, that didn't last very long.
We want to thank Chris Edwards, the owner of Tucson Appliance, for being with us today. This was a remarkable, fun time with you. Thank you so much, Chris, for spending time with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I hope everybody has a wonderful day.
Awesome. Thank you.